Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Our next guest says that Wisconsin is known to be the Midwest hub for sex trafficking and the Harvard School of Pimp School.
That's right, but she's on a mission to change that by teaching the community what a victim looks like, and most importantly, what a trafficker looks like as well. Siobhan McCullum is the founder of a new nonprofit organization called Secure Bridges. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I think people are shocked to hear what Molly just said, that we are a hub for like a pimp school or for sex trafficking. We're like, we're so nice. We're the Midwest.
Exactly.
What's going on? Why is Wisconsin a spot that's chosen?
So we have a very much so access to expressways. In Wisconsin, 8 minutes alone, you can get anywhere on an expressway from 94 to 45 and be gone within a second over the home bridge. It's just too much access to for getaways. If I wanted to take you and be gone, I could.
Yeah, it's very centrally located too, which doesn't help us in terms of what you're talking about. I'm fascinated about the concept of what a trafficker looks like, what a victim looks like, because my guess is that you're going to say you can't spot them.
You cannot. They look like me, to be honest. They look like you. They look like everyday people, although maybe if you're on the news or if you watch a movie, then they have a particular look, but the reality is they look like everyday people. They groom you in different types of ways. They'll groom you at your job or just in general conversation off of simple tactics like what's your name, what school you go to, things like that. So there's no look, and it's not a man trafficker or woman trafficker. They come both ways.
Well, I think that's one of the things that I've learned here on the show that's really shocked me before is that you think, I remember we had a woman here who had been sex trafficked, and she had said, she grew up in a family that was just completely normal, happy. There was no problems in their family. It wasn't like she was seeking outside attention. It was truly that she just got caught up and threatened. And so I wonder why when you try and explain to someone then what the person who's being trafficked, why they don't tell someone, why they aren't able to get out. What do you say? Because this is what I think is so shocking to people.
So the reality is it's fear.
Yeah.
Your fear of being judged, your fear of how your family is going to look at you and things like that. So, but in the inner city of Milwaukee, unfortunately, some of us have to exploit ourselves because of poverty and for our needs. So there's no going to explain that to anybody else. And then versus the person who lived that great life, but what about the person who didn't live a great life and has to make that choice at 13 and 14 years old for a roof over their head or food in their mouth or maybe a warm place to sleep at night.
There's this picture that you have, and we should mention, because they're the sayings that are on their t-shirts are quite shocking, I think, and all of the people in this photo are models. They all have real messages from victims, correct?
Correct.
So there are things like, at 6, my foster brother molested me, my trafficker is my legal guardian, or I had to provide for my family, or I was trafficked by my boyfriend.
Those are actual things. My favorite one for the youth is I met my trafficker on social media, right? Because so many times our kids find themselves wrapped up in social media and have images of what loves look like, what relationship looks like. So they put them in a vulnerable situation when the children are constantly saying things like, oh my God, I want a boyfriend. Oh my God, I want a relationship at very young ages. So now you're prey in my eyes, because now let me come be that boyfriend that you think you need.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself wrapped up into a situation, unfortunately, that you can't control because it's not love. Sex trafficking is not love at all.
And what does it look like to be trafficked? Because one of the quotes on one of those t-shirts says, I'm forced to sleep with 10 to 12 people a day.
So it would look like, an example, you're a commodity that can be used over and over and over again. If I'm trafficking, say, drugs or weapons, I get a one-time use out of that. Once I make that transaction, it's gone. I have to find more product, right? But because we carry what's precious to us, which is our private, it can be used over and over again. The person doesn't go away after that one transaction. They close the door, somebody else come in. They close the door and somebody else comes in. So now I'm getting more value from that person than anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I think people can't quite understand what it looks like. So if a child is a victim of sex trafficking, do they live at home? Are they always kidnapped and live somewhere else, like maybe on the streets of an inner city?
So even to identify a child that has been trafficked, it has various looks as well as the trafficker, right? So it could be the young person that's outside on the corner. It could be your whole classmate who's maybe standing in a corner, who's quiet and not speaking to anybody. It could be somebody that you work with. It could be somebody who goes home every day, because what if my dad is my trafficker? So then I go home. Where else would I go? So it really doesn't have a face on it either. People assume that they look grungy and wear down because that's what we see from third world countries, but that's not true here. Like, they can be as normal as us, or they can be as run down as someone you would see on the street corner every day.
How do we stop it then?
So the catch is be supportive of organizations like Secure Bridges that is out here doing the work, either by volunteering to help support whatever their initiatives are, whether it's out volunteering, where it's out putting bags and car kits and things like that together, as well as monetary donations, because at Secure Bridges, our focus is around just making sure we can provide a safe place for them. So we're in the process of creating a home to house those victims, to get them out of those difficult situations. So just being supportive of the initiatives.
And we can donate those travel size bottles like we talked about earlier. Don't throw those away, because those can be donated to you, right?
Those could be donated, because think if they're outside and they're actively working, here at Secure Bridges, we're not here to make a child feel like that decision was bad if that was something that was forced upon them, but how can we help you make this transition so it's not a lifelong thing? We focus on prevention at Secure Bridges. We want to catch you before you have to be a survivor, but if there's active working people, then we would also like to provide them with food, or so maybe that day they don't have to make that choice, or provide them with a warm place to go to, or provide them with just hygiene necessities to maybe take care of themselves while they're outside trying to find a way to freedom.
It's great you guys are around. I know you're a new organization just since February. Congratulations on the work that you're doing in the community, and I hope that people want to do more and find out more about Secure Bridges. You can go to @SecureBridges to find out more. I know you're on Facebook as well as Instagram. There are lots of ways people can support your efforts, including those small bottles that we talked about. Great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.